Let's talk to Brain.
Well, well, look who finally dragged themselves in out of the wasteland. Where have we been? Crawling through pits of radioactive muck again?
Yeah.
Ah, lovely. Figured that out, have we? Would you like a cookie?
Bitch. Why are you such a dick?
Well, that's a fine how do you do. Me, quote, dick, unquote. As if I'm the one responsible for the way you carry on gadding about the wastes. I'm not the one that makes us clamber around Technus-infested ancient vaults or go charging off to New Vegas on missions of ill-conceived revenge. And have we forgotten who got us shot in the head and buried in a shallow grave? Do you think I enjoyed that little moment?
I mean, we're both kind of, you know.
I most certainly
we're
am
both
not.
kinda...
I'm the seat of all reason and logic in our little partnership.
We're kind of both.
All those feelings that motivate you, that sense of righteousness and that rush you get when you help someone, do you know where those come from?
My dick?
Glands. They come from glands.
Oh, okay.
Free of the tyranny of your ape-like and primitive endocrine system, I can see how foolish your motives are.
Well, I mean, it's kind of your fault. I didn't realize it caused you distress.
Well, maybe next time you hear me telling you that charging a nightkin with a penknife is a bad idea, you'll listen.
Nah, probably not. Don't you want to be reunited? I thought you'd be happy to get back in my head. Oh, Mo's got a hold of my brain.
After the think tank extracted me from your skull, they fell to bickering amongst themselves. I'm sad to say we were quite forgotten about.
Yeah,
Dr.
not surprising.
Mobius saw an opportunity to gain some leverage and had me spirited away to his dome.
Spirited Away? I just watched that. This seems like a pretty unlikely
Hardly.
coincidence.
Dr. Mobius keeps a close optical sensor on the goings-on at the think tank. As soon as he saw the opportunity, he took it.
Well, that answers that.
Well, as long as your curiosity is satisfied.
Okay. Don't you want to be reunited?
I'm not going to lie to you. The prospect is definitely not that appealing. Look at it from my perspective. Here I have peace.
I mean, if you
quiet,
want
and
to stay there,
safety.
that's fine.
Well, barring the odd rogue scorpion. In your head, I've got poison, radiation, grisly injuries, and biological functions. Do you know how much more you can get done when you're not constantly looking for places to urinate? It's quite a lot, I can tell you.
I mean, I like to urinate. What about the good things? What about a cool breeze on your cheek and smell of food? Love? I think that's the heart. I can see your point. What can I do to make this a fair compromise?
If you want me back, we need to establish some ground rules.
What the fuck's he talking
First,
about?
showers!
No.
Second,
No.
regular checkups. Regular, mind you, and from a reputable doctor. Third,
You found a
need
reputable
to listen
doctor
to
in
me
the color-
more than your hormonal choir and genitalian orchestra. Promise me that, and you've got a deal.
So you'd rather stay here, never leaving that tank, whatever of whatever that stuff is?
Well, certainly there might be some things I miss about being ambulatory. We have seen some incredible sights, haven't we?
Yeah.
But still, given the tremendous, potentially life-ending peril that went along with those, yes, I'd rather stay here.
Well, isn't it just as true that you only feel this way because you're lacking those hormones?
I suppose you're right. That does call certain assumptions into question, doesn't it?
So we're at an impasse. You can't feel what I feel, and I can't think the way you think.
Indeed, quite the conundrum. How do you suppose we resolve it?
Rochambeau. I think we have to trust each other and acknowledge that we aren't complete if we are separated.
I suppose there might be some advantage to that, yes. There's a chance that the reintegration would create some improved synergy between us.
So what do you say, Brain? Join me for some more wild adventures?
Well, I suppose you've convinced me well enough. I'll rejoin your body if that's your final decision. Unfortunately, before we get to that stage of the proceedings, we have a problem. Even if I could settle myself back in your skull and reconnect all those pesky nerve endings, Dr. Mobius doesn't have the tools here. We would have to make use of Dr. Klein's lab, and I rather doubt the brains are inclined to share.
Why? They promised to put us back together once I did what they wanted. Well, let's make them share. Come on, Brain. It's stomping time.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah,
We've reached the
yeah,
mindless
yeah,
violence
yeah,
portion
yeah.
of the program. Tell me, what exactly are you, and I use the word loosely, planning?
Not a goddamn thing. And that's the beautiful thing of it. I'm going to show them even a video screen can get a black eye. Oh. We're going to give them a demonstration of the physics behind small, fast-moving chunks of lead.
Not much of one for the high-tech approach, are we? Well, I suppose we'd best get on with it.
I'm going to punch them. If the Think Tank won't hold up their bargain, we'll make them. Let's go.
Right. Look out, Think Tank. This brain is coming out of its jar. I suppose now that we're reunited, you'll want to fill your torso up with those other meaty parts the Think Tank took from us. Personally, I think your upgrades are quite a bit better. But now that I'm with you, the Sync's autodock can plug them back in no problem.
Okay.
Right then, off we go. Klein will be in for a nasty shock when he realizes the pacification field won't work on a mind and body reunited.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's go fucking fight Klein with Mobius's glove, because that's the type of shit we on right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna hip hop on over. I'm gonna give him the chance to do the hip hop dance. Oh, I need to turn the light off. There we go. Give me a chance to do my hip hop dance. Here we go. Alright. We'll see where this takes us. If it takes too long, I'll just say fuck it. If not, you know. Pop, 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 pop. Make sure you're prepared to finish this once and for all. Oh, I'm ready, buckaroo. Hello, hello.
The lobotomite returns. Our lobotomite. Has Dr. Mobius been denominated into scrap metal and voice module parts, as we hoped?
No. I found my brain. I think it passed due for your lobotomy, Klein. You may have noticed the pacification is deal. Guess what happens now? I found my brain. Now you and I are going to settle
I recommend watching your tone with me, lobotomite. Now, your brain. Hand it over, or we'll extract it again.
Hey, handing over my brain. There's some things we should discuss.
And what could we possibly have to speak about? You have the brain, we have the technology. All you must do is surrender. With it, we can finally leave this place. I cannot tell you how boring this place gets, chopping up the landscape and everything in it. And we have so many questions to ask your brain first. About this Mojave place. A fertile testing ground for our experiments.
Nah. You think I am the lobotomite? No, for my school houses the brain of Mobius.
That is the most insane thing I've ever heard. There's no way Mobius would condescend to step inside you. Besides, there's no way such a thing could be accomplished. It's impossible.
I think you're past, yeah.
Colleagues! Think Tank! Alert! Alert! We are under attack!
Ready,
With our raiding
steady,
beams already!
Punchies! I like punchies! 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 Punchies!
Maybe it'll get
Punchies! Punchies! Punchies!
bad guys dealt with.
Okay. Well, they have some good shit. Punchies! Dr. Mobius! Where'd you go? Who that? Who that boy? Who him is? Dr. Klein. 0. Okay. Here we go.
Starting combat. Just kidding.
Ha 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 ha.
As it had been in the years before the Great War, Big Mountain, the Big Empty,
We did it!
became home to one of the brightest minds of the 23rd century. The Courier watched over the Big Empty for years to come, caring for it and keeping its discoveries safe until they were needed to help others, which had always been Big Mountain's purpose. Past the laboratories and science, it had always been intended as a place to build the future of all mankind.
The Courier had scoured much of the Big Empty, although secrets still remained in the crater's depths.
Of course.
Perhaps that was for the best, however. Curiosity, while sometimes rewarded for its efforts, often proves to be equally dangerous.
Dr. Mobius continued his research undisturbed in the Forbidden Zone. As much as he had attempted to create better scorpions, he tried the same with humanity, with considerably less success.
Good try, buddy.
These failures didn't bother him overmuch. Once the rush of mentats wore off, he forgot he had failed in any event. After all, the bright young mind who had come to visit him in the Forbidden Zone had already exceeded his expectations.
Yay.
The sink atop the dome bustled with the voices of a small town, constantly chirping, arguing, and snarling at each other.
Yay!
Still, this all happened productively in the interests of its new owner. The Sync Central Intelligence Unit discovered, despite its inversion code, it was comforted by the sense of community the other personalities gave it.
Yay.
The biological research station, obsessed with seeding everything in sight, requested a transfer to the X-22 Botanical Garden, so that it might, in its own words, sensually fertilize the garden's smooth contours. The garden sent back a polite refusal, saying it had prior commitments with a vault it had helped infect before the war.
Oh.
The book chute continued to devour all seditious materials until it nearly choked on a paperclip.
Well,
It adamantly maintained it was a Chinese paperclip.
Oh, no.
And the whole thing had been an elaborately orchestrated assassination attempt. Whatever the reason, it slowed down for a while, carefully appraising each document and clipboard that came to it.
The light switches continued to bicker and flicker.
This persisted until the day someone dropped a flashlight in the sink, and the two of them united in their hatred of the Showboat. One of them eventually transferred to the Lightwave Dynamics plant, and began a long, unrequited affair with one of the holograms.
Oh!
The sink continued to ruthlessly scrub any particulate matter
I
that
forgot
came
the sink
near it.
even had a fucking voice.
Eventually, it gained access to the magneto-hydraulics plant and nearly flooded all the Big Empty in an attempt to scrub the crater clean.
Well, you know.
Once it learned of the innovative toxins plant, however, it gained new purpose.
Oh, Lord.
It sought to develop antitoxins to flush into its drains and counteract the poisons bleeding into the soil.
Wow.
The toaster continued its psychotic spree, reducing all appliances
blood
in
stain
range to
across the
scrap
screen.
electronics and spare parts. After one of its more psychotic episodes, however, the other Sync personalities decided enough was enough and dumped the toaster in a bathtub. Sparking and hissing, the toaster swore its enemies would rue the day when they had bread and no way to toast it.
True.
Muggy did his best to collect coffee cups, although in his quest, he accidentally trapped himself in Higgs Village. It might have been the end for poor Muggy, except he found it peaceful there, tidying up the kitchens of the think tank professors back when they had been flesh and bone. Well, except for Dr. O, who was an asshole for having created Muggy in the first place.
Yeah, fuck Dr.
Muggy
O.
left O's house deliberately dirty, punishing the dishes and cups that lived there in blind revenge for serving Dr. O.
Yeah.
Blind
old Jefferson, with sounds the courier brought him, created a symphonic counter-frequency that saved Big Mountain from sonic invasion in 2910. If
What?
you didn't hear about it, good. It was rumored by the other personalities that he had a brief fling with the light switches.
Hey.
Although he forgot their names much too often and was soon left in the dark as punishment.
That's alright, he can be his own way.
Autodoc, always gentle and methodical, kept sewing up the courier in all the right places when the skin split open from repeated wear and tear. The Autodoc was just glad to have purpose again. It heard its simpler brothers and sisters who got shipped to the Sierra Madre were bored out of their skulls in that toxic dead city.
I bet.
In time, the Autodoc found a way to deactivate the Y-17 trauma harnesses, releasing the corpses they had held prisoner for almost 200 years.
Wow.
As the
That's
courier
super good.
made his way through the X-8 facility, the computers analyzed the test subject's movements. They eventually created new cyber dogs to root out commie traitors from the wasteland.
Oh no.
Traitors like Betsy Bright, Richie Marcus. Although they couldn't seem to find any commies, so they turned on themselves, howling sonic barks that echoed miles across the landscape.
The infiltration program in X-13 continued to scan for the subject and the stealth suit prototype long after the test was over. Frustrated and unable to find its lost technology, X-13 expanded its network of laser tripwires, sensors, and robo-brains out across Big Mountain. This glittering blue light beam forest cleanly bisected anything that entered its depths, slicing them into small segmented parts for easy disposal.
Nice.
The courier, organs intact, continued onwards, a little less heavy of step, but with all the organs in the right places, as they should be.
Did I put them in? I don't think I
brains
did.
can develop a life of their own when left to their own thoughts, and the courier's brain was more clever than most.
The think tank basement, filled with the lobotomized robotical frames of the doctors, now served
they all
as a
fucking blew up.
graveyard. The monitors had recorded the battle in its entirety, including the think tank's final, shrill, terrified screams, whimpers, and pleas for mercy.
There were no
They
pleas.
broadcast these humiliating last moments as a warning to anyone approaching the perimeter that other smarty pants were not welcome. The courier was the inheritor of the Big Empty, and there was room for only one will in the halls of the think tank dome.
There is an expression in the wasteland, old world blues.
It refers to those so obsessed with the past they can't see the present, much less the future, for what it is.
They stare into the what was, eyes like pilot lights, guttering and spent, as the realities of their world continue on around them.
Yeah.
Science.
I feel like that was
is
you
a
guys.
long, steady progression into the future. What may seem a sudden event often isn't felt for years, even centuries to come.
In the times following the Second Battle of Hoover Dam, however, old world blues took on a new meaning.
Oh, yeah?
Where once it was viewed as a form of sadness, nostalgia, it became an
Potential for the
expression
future. There you go.
describing the potential for the future.
It can be easy to see science as evil, technology unchecked as the source of all ills, all misfortunes.
With the courier at the helm, science became a beacon for the future.
Yeah!
There was old world blues, and new world hope. And hope ruled the day at Big Mountain.
Hell
We could
yeah!
say more, but the stories in the Big Empty speak for themselves.
Yeah.
Now armed with the transportal Ponder, the courier could return to the dome at any time and crack open the secrets of the Big Empty one by one.
Woo!
The Sync
I can
sat
return.
vigilant, waiting for its master to return, shoes covered in Mojave dust. Only one road yet remained, and it was one the courier had to walk alone.
Hey, that's spoilers. Your brain is back in your body, but some of the advanced technology remain. Your head still cannot be crippled. Sweet. But you are only 10% more resistant to addiction. Surprisingly, your damage threshold has improved by 10%. Nice. You acquired the Big Mountain Transporter. Yeah! Woo! Yeah!
If you haven't found any communists in your backyard, you're not looking hard enough.
Alright. Well, I think it's time to head back. Head on back. Alright guys, that's finale right there. I'm not really surprised that it happened. I was expecting it to be over pretty soon. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next series as we prepare for our final journey into the Lonesome Road. Goodbye.